just giving us a brief hands-on guidance by the development expert. That's what we are doing. Do I have your attention? Okay. So, briefly, we'll be going through this, planning the investment case for local projects. We'll be estimating how to estimate the cost of achieving the goals of the local projects, implementing the investment case, then writing out the district investment case, advocating for the investment case, and how to monitor and review the investment case. Then I'll thank you. So, what is an investment case? I borrowed this from the UNFPA. An investment case provides a compelling argument to potential investors on the desired impact, benefits, and or returns accruing from targeted allocations. Remember, targeted allocation, releases, and utilization of these resources for the key priorities areas given in the context, in the given context. So, if you take district by district case, what are the priority areas? When it comes to making an investment case, your argument or your case of advocacy will be restricted to that area, making a case for investors who will deliver the resources for the implementation. So the MDAs have said it, I'll not go into that. They have given us their geographical and administrative jurisdictions, highlighting the priority areas for development and the way forward. Now, what is needed now is a guideline, or if you like, a toolkit to provide a concise and practical guide on how to develop investment cases for the various priority areas. One, I said they have been identified and they have been projected. So the processes you have gone through are the things that you need to do to get it done. So it must include a step-by-step guide on how to prepare for the investment case, how to estimate the cost for the investment using standardized tools, how to develop investment scenarios to determine the scale of the impact that can be attributed to the investment. Then you must also look at how to frame the investment narrative and how to use the investment case in national advocacy effort. So this platform is also a platform for advocacy that we are putting things together for institutions like the NDPC and the UNFPA and other partners to take up. So how do we plan? So planning to develop an investment case at all levels requires consensus and commitment for all relevant stakeholders. For me, that is key in getting the buy-in of all accepted actors within the value chain, so that you don't leave anybody out, and you don't also put in people who are not expected to be there. That's very critical. This forum identify various relevant stakeholders for this meeting. That is the way to go about an investment, big investment case that gets the buy-in of all and the commitment. Now, build consensus and secure commitment. Okay, we have done that. Develop concept notes. So to specify the scope and time frame for the investment case. The time frame can be of a single long-term case, say 10 years, but can be modeled on multiple 3 to 5 year cycles that can be based in the same year that we are talking about. So, for instance, a project to develop cowpea in Bunkpurugu-Nakpanduri. Okay. So, what is acquisition time for land and land preparation, seed acquisition, and all those things? So you can look at it and then get the thing done. and then it will move to cover the territory. Then document quality assurance that will be maintained during the process of implementation. So we continue to identify and secure resources to support the development of the district investment case, including human resources within and outside the district, financing technical resources for modeling and analysis, logistics, and in-kind support. And here, a good source of equity contribution, in-kind support. Most of our practice, what we have done with partners is that we look at our people getting support for equipment or working capital. What are some of the things that can be quantified as contribution, equity contribution for acquisition of that facility? So it's very good. If they are operating in a group, what do they have? All of this can be quantified. Do they have space? Do they have meeting space? Do they have chairs? And all those things can be quantified as, and this is a good source of contribution. Now, the situation analysis, which were well done by you, will be subjected to further scrutiny and analysis during the planning stage, so that you have a very good start-off point. So we will always start reading, so that we'll have time to answer, ask questions and answer. So how do we estimate the cost of achieving the goals of our district? What we need is to have a thorough identification and outlining of all the processes, logistics, resources, talking about human capital, etc. is very important and should be professionally executed. When I say professionally executed, you need some outside assistance and guidance through consultants who are in the field. So they will be able to give you a detailed activities that must be costed, so that you don't be going back, oh, we are stuck because we underestimated the project of and you don't also overestimate it, so that financial investors will not get scared. So total investment cost should be determined, which is a collation of all identified cost components of the project. And they say professional or technical assistance may be needed in this regard. Very important. So how do we implement the investment case? This is the stage for actual execution of the project interventions to achieve the investment case. So implementation should link the financial needs, the impacts, and the financing of the interventions project in a way that is necessary to support the intervention. So it is coming out directly from a thorough planning level, which adequately identify all that is needed and costed. So as the implementation begins, you will be looking at the financial needs of the instance again, the land clearing, the seed acquisition, the labor. You will be monitoring, and that will be a measure for impact, whether you are on cost. And of course, we also emphasize on time frame. It's very important. Now, implementation lessons that will be drawn will be that the district will have opportunity to know estimated financial cost or how do you call it? Yes, total cost of projects based on the experience that we gain from this. And if there are gaps, they will be identified quickly, and how the mobilization of further resources, whether from the initial donor or outside, will be needed. And all of this will be documented, and it will be a knowledge assets for the various districts. Now we're writing out the district investment case. Now, so the case should begin with a concise introduction to the project's results. So we are documenting. including its importance to the district region and even the nation. So this session, I'm saying that should describe briefly the objective or purpose of the investment case and must clearly mention the scope and the time horizon for the analysis. Then, when we have this document, we need to advocate. In other words, sell this document. And how do we advocate it, and what form do we have it? So once this investment case has been developed, it needs to be used as an advocacy to get partners on board to invest in the priority areas. So, what is advocacy and why should we be undertaken? So it's the process of building support for a cause or an issue. In this case, economic development. In this case, projects that will enhance the livelihood of our people in the various districts. It is a process of influencing others to act in support of a specific issue or a change. So we want to change the situation that is of bother to us, and that will bring profit. And let us not forget, every business is a solution to a problem. Every business is a solution to a problem. Do we agree? Yes. Good. So that is what it must seek to do. Then it can take the form of investment or business plan, proposals, and others. Yesterday, Chereponi, Bunkpurugu were lamenting about this bottle sales of fuel. So, and I was happy somebody indicated that it's not a challenge or it's not a threat. Not illegal. No, before the illegals said came in, somebody that he identified it as an opportunity. Is that, am I correct? Yes. Am I correct? Yes. Good. So it is. So in the advocacy, I have come to even know that we have indigenous Northeast giants in the fuel and lubricants space, who have these filling stations. So in advocating, one of the targets is to target the indigenous who are in the field that we have. Let them come, just appeal with them, to them, let them get filling stations constructed on our homes where we don't have this. You see, the issue of economy of the youth and the people who are already into it is needed, but we look at the larger picture of creating the enabling environment in the district that will attract development. Those ones, even though they will help in some way, they won't attract. I remember I was going for a meeting, monitoring in Bunkpurugu. I didn't get how do you call it? Diesel at Zane. So I knew on the way there is, before I get out of Nariku, there is one filling station also there. When I got there, they also don't have. Then I asked the driver, is it that I've forgotten? Is there any filling station on the... No, I asked whether in Bunkpurugu itself we have a filling station. He couldn't tell me. So we have to... Then we came to create it in a new Nagami after you have gotten out of Nariku. So it is an opportunity, and I agree with that. That can be supported, and through advocating, by that identifying these potential investors and make a case to them. That will solve. Now, there is the monitoring of the investment case. How do we do that? Progress report towards the achievement of the investment result, there are many results, should be assessed annually. Ideally, the same stakeholder group involved in the planning and development of the investment case should be involved with monitoring its progress. Investor partners and all donor institutions can have their own monitoring and evaluation agenda and methodology. If in the course of implementation they provide one that you should use or together you use, can be modified, but your own monitoring plan should be developed. Now, the monitoring plan should be developed by the stakeholder group and should identify the indicators to monitor on a quarterly, annually, or annual basis that can track progress towards each of the priority projects for which the district is making the investment case. Then, for each indicator, the monitoring plan should identify the resource for that particular indicator and how it can be tracked. So every stage you don't lump it. It can be done segmented based on that activity that can be undertaken. So you track it because this success will flow into the next. So once you get it right, your investment case or project proposal will succeed. Then I have the opportunity to thank you. We don't have time.
I think I came a bit late, so as usual, we'll have some few questions, clarifications, and suggestions. And I think we'll limit it to just 5. Are you okay with that, sir? 5. All right.
Okay. Thank you so much. I'm not actually going to ask a question. I'm Joseph E.K Kani, head pastor of the NERCC Church. What I want to appeal for is this pilot districts that this thing is going on. We've seen that it's very good. It's actually bringing some kind of poverty release to the people in those areas. And so I'm appealing that if you could have also appealed to the people to extend it to the rest of our districts that are left, so that they will also benefit. I mean, the Chakosi people should not just benefit and our people are suffering. And so I am appealing that they should throw the net wide to cover the rest of the districts. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. Your name and where you come from.
Okay, my name is Saka Hassan Wentira. I'm a regional sales manager for Corporate Data. Your presentation is nice, but I want to ask you, for 2025, what opportunities are there for businesses under your feet?
Any more questions, please?
Yes.
Thank you very much for this opportunity. My name is Ubornam John. People call me simply John. If I followed the discussion very well yesterday, up to today, I think our primary aim is to see how we can grow the industry, especially the local industries, and to help the less privileged to also get into the local industries. And if I follow the discussion quite well yesterday, I also noticed that one of the factors that is crippling the local industry is high cost of production. because yesterday when I listened to the shea butter production industry, one of their challenge was that it's like they are not able to compete with their counterparts who are coming from outside the country and they are buying shea and exporting. And all this is because they have not enough resources to also mobilize the raw material locally that can let them produce, even if the shea tree should refuse to bear fruit for the next 3 years. And I believe that their competitors who buy the shea nut and export it, the countries that they export it to, if the shea nuts refuse to bear fruit for the next 3 years, they can still have shea nuts to produce. Why can't we? Now, the question is, when I listen to the third speaker of those who spoke here, the fourth one, the banker, their mode of getting assistance or aid to the grassroots, people who actually do the production. I realized that there was some kind of bureaucracy there. And if you follow them well, it is the primary producers who suffer the interest rate because they lend the money to some people at an interest, and they also go to lend it to the local people at an interest. So my personal analysis is that it is the farmer at the village who pays all the interest, because the second lender will not want to lose. Yes. Now, if our target is to promote the local industry, how can the farmer, I'm also a farmer, how can I get access to credit that the interest rate will be moderate for me? Because it is because of the interest rate that our farmers suffer, our local industry suffer. That is why they are not able to compete with the external people. How can we collaborate? The farmer, the middleman, and the main bankers who give us the resources. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Is there any more questions?
The district administrative districts in the whole of the east. So others can take a cue and also follow suit. So I think that's what we'll push through the regional minister to other district announcement. Then on our the next 5 years plan for.
I was asking what programs or
2025
are there for businesses for this year, 2025. So
Okay.
we can apply.
Right. So I just came from a validation workshop yesterday. I know I arrived here. So we're validating the strategic plan for the next 5 years. Unfortunately, it does not include this year. So this year we still have what we were doing because the other strategic plan is this year. So we have a project that identify the youth within the age bracket of 18 to 35. The one that extended the age limit to 40 has come to an end. That's the Ghana job skill for the youth. So we have the big sports that is currently running, and that targets a majority of women and people who are brothers, the PWDs, and the youth. So we'll continue with that. The assurance, I was glad that yesterday the minister indicated the people who came on the issue of the Women Bank, because you know our trade minister is a woman, and she's heading into our agency. So it's something that we think that from the look of things, it can start. But it depends on how people, and I'm happy that the minister indicated that even before the land preparation and startup comes, they have made a provision for somewhere to start. That is the equity thing I was talking about. So you provide that avenue, it makes easy implementation of some of these projects. So we'll be pursuing that this year, hopefully. Then, is that level? Is that okay?
Yes, yes, yes.
Then there was one here. No, okay. So I think that's it.
There's a question from the Queen, madam.
Okay.
I want to add, I want to bring some certain suggestions. When you look at the Ghana, the laws, and you look at the strategy of Ghana on how to get youth and women employed, every forum you come, they speak nicely. You see that it's very simple. But what do we see on the ground? It's hard time we let the vulnerable themselves or the women to understand that before you have a business, you don't need someone to give you. You have to start with your own startup, understand the business, borrow, pay, and then you grow. I also have an organization that works with women groups, and then moving forward, I've seen that the ignorance in the back and the down the communities are much. That is why we keep on being poor. The organization is a social service, all right. We also have opportunities of getting like banks that come in to give us loans to support one another. But when you get this money and you give it to the people, they don't want to pay. So the District Assembly, other agencies should come up. In 2023 and 2024, if I tell you the number of bags of fertilizer I sent to East Bunkpurugu District and Batley, it's a loan we took. We, as an organization well registered, we have so many opportunities. This year, I rejected certain opportunities because our people don't pay. So the women here, we have to educate them. The other one I want to say is that government agencies bring so well nice pipelines or how women can get funds. But when the funds come, they will channel into political So we don't even get women sitting here, as we all have spoken, let the money come. This woman will not even benefit. So how do someone now spend money going registering with GRA, GEA, going to the standard board, what? So I think it's time for us to look for those who have their own, like this woman who did the wrong thing. You correct them, then you refinance them. And also educate them to know that you have to pay to grow. That's one. Another one is with the share. My sister who spoke about the share that they don't get. It's true. But I think because the minister is not there, I wanted to say that the minister and the DC is here should support said people to finance them. Because in the local communities, the women don't have the money at this time that it's a hard time because we are planting. So some foreign comes to support them with money and pack all the share. But if our own people do have money to pre-finance these women, the share will be there. And the time of picking the share too, you can buy and keep. But as I said, there are so many people who are Ghanaians who are aggregators. They buy grains to keep. Imagine soya bean. I was part of the advocacy for this restriction, but I regret doing that. because some people have lost a lot of money. Some people have gone for bank loans to buy soybeans at 700 Ghana cedis. Now it's 450. How do you pay interest? So I have to look at the agencies have to look at all these things so that we can move forward. Thank you.
Thank you very much. We want to react to that, so.
No, I think it's a genuine concern that all actors have to advocate for.
This is the last one.
Good afternoon. Yeah, I'm from Baba. I'm Assistant Chief Seydou Saka Bakari, the Regional Director of Ghana Export Promotion Authority. Mine is not a question, it's just a comment and an encouragement to our GEA Director in Northeast region. Even though we don't have an office in Northeast, Ghana Export Promotion Authority, but like my boss did indicate yesterday, Northeast is under our mandate. We take care of our Savannah, Northern region, and the Northeast region. So I want to encourage the new leadership in Northeast. GA, just like GEPA, we are all agencies under Ministry of Trade and Industry. GA is an agency under Ministry of Trade and Industry, just like GEPA. So I want to encourage our new leadership that distance is not a barrier. Northeast is looking at Northeast as a different region, is still our mandate. As far as SME development and export growth is concerned, I want to encourage our new leadership that our doors are always open under the leadership of Alhaji Chief Seydou Saka Bakari. Anytime there is any program on export growth, as far as we are concerned, we are always ready to come and work. Especially in this era of African continental free trade area, we need to leverage on the benefits that AFTA comes with, and we can easily collaborate and lead our SMEs to a higher level as far as business development is concerned. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. I want to use this opportunity to acknowledge the presence of the DCD for Chereponi, Alhaji Awol Mohammed. You're welcome.
So that is a very important contribution from GEPA.
Simple question. You know, we all recognize the fact that Ghana Enterprise Agency needs people to and promoting business and other major activities in various jurisdictions. But you notice that the offices of this agency across the district are manned usually by one person. What has been done to keep up the staff strength of these offices? So it's very important. I'm correct.
I agree. That is a concern that we were talking about at our workshop in Accra. The issue of getting clearance from Ministry of Finance has been the challenge. That is the issue, the bottleneck here. But on the whole, the new strategy for equipping the DACs or the district office is to have all human resource needed in any office at the district. So we are talking about the administrator, we are talking about accountant, we are talking about project officer and ICT. Those are in the act that we have gotten now. And so the commitment we got from the new administration at the GA head office is that they will pursue that and ensure that they use that to create meaningful jobs. So we are expecting that in the 2026 to 2030 strategic plan, that implementation will come on board.